So for nodes, we have our main storyboard, which includes our node list view controller, where we just kind of display the user's nodes, and our node view controller, where we just display the node. We have a delete button here if we want to delete the node. So what we do in our load node list view controller, we want to have a function to create a node for the plus button. This will go into node manager.share.create, which are functions that we wrote and will show in the future. Function to reload, which is just like get all the nodes and reload the data into the table. The number of sections, which is just one. The number of rows, which is the count of nodes. And then we want to pass onto our cells the nodes.content. So basically what is displayed in every cell is just the content of each node. It prepares for a segue as the user presses on one node. What is passed on is a node, basically, which is a struct we wrote with an ID and a content. So a whole node is passed on to destination. And we also have an editing style for delete. So if our editing style that delete is equal to delete, we run our function delete node. To show you how that works, because it doesn't look very good here. So these are nodes written in the past. We can just go ahead and create a new one. When we click on it, a new node is passed. This can be edited. And if we go back, what this code for editing style equals delete does is that we can basically swipe on a node. And this editing style is what we get of deleting a node. So if I swipe up the way to delete, what this does is basically just delete the node, as you saw here before. In our node view controller, we just display the node. In our content text view, and we also have another button for delete if the user wants to delete the node. There. Anytime view will disappear, the node is saved. So the core of our program runs node.swift, which is where we've written all our functions. We have our function connect, in which a database is loaded into a pointer. If the database is already loaded, we return it. It creates a nodes.sqlite in our memory. It creates a table onto the SQL to create our nodes. So all of this basically occurs when we open our database, and this happens when we open our database for the first time. We have a function that create, which inserts a node into our SQL database. We have a function called get nodes, which basically just returns all of the nodes, selecting basically every node from our table database. We have a function save node, which updates the node, basically just like the content where the row ID is where we pass what we pass into our function here. And then we have our function delete node, which deletes from the nodes where the row ID is the ID of the node we pass onto the function. And so these are all the functions we make sure and run correctly so that we can run our nodes. And so this is our nodes app.